So if you haven't heard the story by now, Whoopi Goldberg, as you can see there, learning the hard way that going after a Staten Island institution can be a recipe for controversy. Thousands of customers lined up outside Halterman's Bakery to show their support after the View co-host accused that bakery of political discrimination.
What's going on, America and the rest of the world? Xander J. Hobson here, comedian, director and producer of boxing documentaries, and troll to those who need trolling. This is another episode of The Devil's Advocate, brought to you by the Brilliant Artist Movement. Folks, do me a favor. I'm trying to grow my channel, and I think that I might have a shadow ban. So please, do me a solid. Subscribe, like this video, share it, and by all means, leave a comment in the comment section because I enjoy checking out the feedback from these videos that I make, as well as exchanging opinions and points of views with you all. So anyway, it appears as though my fellow comedian, Whoopi Goldberg, has gotten herself into a bit of a scuffle with the entire Staten Island community because Whoopi Goldberg feels as though this bakery that I will not mention did not want to do business with her because of her political leanings. Let's check this out.
The place that made these refused to make them for me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What? Oh.
No. Let me explain. They said that their ovens had gone down, all kinds of stuff, but folks went and got them anyway, which is why I'm not telling you who made them. But can't be because I'm a woman, but perhaps they did not like my politics.
Yeah. See, thousands of customers lined up outside Halterman's Bakery to show their support after the View co-host accused that bakery of political discrimination. Community leaders calling on her to apologize, but instead, here's the update. She appears to double down in this new video.
Seems to be a lot of talk about the dessert I requested for my birthday show. I never mentioned the name of the bakery or the location. It does seem a little odd that when we called a few weeks before my birthday and we were told they couldn't process the order for my birthday because of an equipment failure, but somehow they were able to accept an order of a different 48 of the same dessert when somebody else called without using my name. But it's all okay, y'all, because I enjoyed my delicious dessert and I had a happy, sweet birthday. Nothing better than that.
Now, I'm not an attorney, okay, but I do have a degree of common sense. And from what I saw there, Whoopi didn't say anything specific to give anyone an indication who she was talking about. Everything that she said was vague, and anything that anyone deduces from what she said is all assumption and speculation. You hear the news saying that the community is calling on Whoopi to apologize. Apologize to who? Okay, she didn't say anything specific. So why would she apologize if she wasn't specific about who she was talking to? In fact, if Whoopi was to issue an apology, now I believe she would make herself liable because she would admit that she is talking about this specific establishment in question. Now, one of the things that I did see, the individuals who did make the name of the bakery public was all the news agencies and elected officials who came out and assumed that Whoopi was talking about this particular establishment in question. Again, I'm not an attorney, but I'm just laying down a common sense analogy of what I see. Let's see what else these clowns are talking about.
Joining us now is Staten Island Borough President Vito Vasella. Thank you very much for being here. We saw you at that news conference. I mean, you lit the crowd up. You have people lining up outside the bakery because they feel bad for what's happened to this institution, the Staten Island institution. Welcome to you. Did that clear anything up, that video with Whoopi Goldberg there?
No, not at all. In my opinion, first of all, the story here is Holterman, the family is wonderful. They're the salt of the earth. They've had a business for 146 years. Not many people can say that.
Okay, so the name of the place is Holterman's, and they've been in business for over 100 years. Okay, well, not too many people could get that from anything that Whoopi Goldberg said. Okay, now, as you listen to this video, you're going to hear them say, we've gotten calls from all over the world. Okay, so you mean people on the other side of the world know that Whoopi Goldberg was talking about this particular place. So again, the news agency that's reporting on this, and this elected official here, this Vito character, he's the one that just got on this news broadcast and told you who he thinks Whoopi is talking about. Because again, as of this moment, from what Whoopi said, I don't know who she's talking about.
They have an impeccable reputation. People love them and their business. And then this woman went on national television and basically misrepresented what happened. And to have a platform like that and disparage, potentially, arguably defame a business that has no recourse in the court of public opinion, and they were devastated. And what we said, we were going to stand up for those businesses, and we're not going to take the abuse. She may have had the bully pulpit, but she came across as a bully, if you ask me.
Well, who was she bullying, Vito? She didn't say anyone's name. It seems to me that you all are trying to come across as victims.
And the family, not being used to this, said, what do we do? So the Staten Island community stood up and stood strong and stood up for the Holterman family, the Holterman Bakery. And I commend the Holtermans for just having the grace to take the high road. And the Staten Island community stepping out, waiting online hour after hour to say, we support Holtermans.
Wow, look at this guy. He's not helping the case against Whoopi, okay? He's not helping the case. He's actually hurting the case against Whoopi, because basically what he just said was Whoopi gave them more business, and she gave them more business, and she didn't even mention their name. So basically all of those people just jumped to conclusions and went out and gave this establishment their business. Thank you, Whoopi. Yeah, thank you. And thank you without even mentioning our name. Thank you.
As a reporter, I step back from the story and I say, well, could have something happened there that maybe we didn't see. Maybe there was somebody, this is just me just asking you based on the facts that you have at hand. Could there have been somebody behind the register who didn't like the idea that this was for Whoopi Goldberg and said, not today?
So the facts are the boiler that they had in place that they need to make the cakes was about 60 or 70 years old. They were planning on replacing it. They didn't know how long it would take to replace. So Jill Holterman actually did the right thing by telling the woman, we can't commit to it. We would hate for you to have a birthday party and the boiler would still be down. So, go someplace else. And then the boiler was fixed, probably in less time than they anticipated.
You know what? I can't watch anymore. This guy right here and these people making these false claims against Whoopi Goldberg, they have absolutely no integrity. And I'll tell you why. You're telling me in 2024, and a successful establishment like this bakery, they're operating with a 70-year-old piece of equipment. I mean, really, you want someone with a degree of good sense to believe that. And then for this guy to sit on here and say, fortunately, they were able to get the piece of equipment fixed in the minimum amount of time. You expect someone with some good sense to believe that. Was the piece of equipment fixed with 70-year-old parts, or was it fixed with modern parts? Or did you get rid of the 70-year-old piece of equipment and bring in some modern equipment? These people, they totally lack any credibility, and they also lack integrity. and they're basically trying to come off like victims. Now, I will say this. In my opinion, this is all Whoopi Goldberg's fault, because once these people made it clear to her that they didn't want her business, she should have took her business elsewhere. Again, and I said in my previous video, I'm sure she could have went to Dunkin' Donuts. She could have went to Krispy Kreme's. Hell, she could have found an African-American establishment to do business with. Hell, there's plenty of Hispanics over here. I'm sure that some of our Hispanic brothers and sisters would have loved to have done business with Whoopi Goldberg, as were our Asian brothers and sisters. But for whatever reason, Whoopi Goldberg was hell-bent on going to this establishment, and as a result of that, these people are trying to rip the linings out of her pocket. Now, fortunately for her, she didn't mention the name of the bakery, and the fact that all of these news agencies were the one to pretty much put the name of the bakery out there, I think my girl Whoopi Goldberg is going to be all right on this one. But Whoopi and anybody else out there watching, let this be a lesson to you. If someone doesn't want your money, to hell with them. Give your money to someone else. So with that said, folks, I'm done with it.